So what are we doing right now? Nice hat. The Scholastic Book Fair comes to my school in October, and the hot ticket item is a Sports Illustrated for kids with an entire page of Michael Jordan cards. And so I go ask my mom, can I have money for the book fair? And she says what she always says. We have books at home. Which is doing a lot of heavy lifting. What we have at home is an entire enormous pile of library books that she checked out, which is how I end up being the only fifth grader reading James Joyce every night. Do I understand it? No. But do I learn to appreciate his stream of consciousness and wit? Also no. He's scatterbrained and overrated, and I'll die on that hill. But back at school, all my friends have these cards and they're showing them off, and I'm sitting there flipping through Irish literature, and they make fun of me for being a nerd, and it sucks. And then you have snack time, when my school turns into Wall Street, and everyone's exchanging Dunkaroos and Pop-Tarts and high-stakes trades. And I go home and I ask my mom, can we have good snacks? And she says, we have snacks at home. And she's talking about bushels of apples because every weekend in the fall she makes me go with her to an orchard and pick them, which might sound quaint to you city folk, but it's literally child labor. And back at school, I'm the kid trying to trade a Granny Smith for a pack of Gushers, and I get laughed off the trading floor. And it's embarrassing. But if the book fair and snack time are the undercard, the main event is Halloween. Because in school, a costume isn't just a costume. It's a chance to be cool, to be something other than what you are. And every freaking Halloween, I ask my mom for a Halloween costume, and she says, we have costumes at home. Which means I make it with like paper mache and glue and more child labor, and it's mortifying. But this particular Halloween, the night before, we're in Target, we're walking around, and I see it. A Darth Vader costume. And it's got the mask and the cape and the lightsaber. And you gotta understand, at this point, Star Wars had just been re-released. So Darth Vader isn't just the villain, he's a cultural icon. And I need to be Darth Vader. And so I ask my mom, can we get that? But what I'm actually asking her is, can I be that? Because I'm tired of being the loser at school that gets made fun of all the time. I wanna be cool. And I brace for the inevitable, we have Darth Vader at home, which just objectively isn't true. But she surprises me and she says yes. So on Halloween, I have the costume packed in my bag. And before lunch, they let us change, and the first time I put it on, I can feel it. I'm not Will anymore, I'm Darth Vader, and I'm formidable and dangerous, and I'm cool. And I go to lunch, and when I'm standing in line, a kid comes up behind me, and he snaps the elastic on the back of my mask, and it breaks over my head, and my mask falls. And he says, look, everyone, it's Darth Vader. But he replaces the "vey" syllable with an insult that rhymes, and I'll leave in the 1990s. And everyone laughs. And I expect that from the bullies, but when my friends laugh too, that's really difficult. And in retrospect, I probably should have just force choked him to death, but my only reaction was to burst out crying, which you can't do as a dude in the 5th grade. And so I just leave the school, and I walk 7 miles home. And the entire, it was rural New Hampshire, I don't know what to tell you. But the entire walk, I'm miserable, and I'm convincing myself how much I hate these guys. But if I'm being honest, I hate myself, right? I'm ashamed of who I am, and I'm miserable because this costume was the last chance I had to change that. And if I could go back in time now and talk to myself, I'd slap the shit out of that 10-year-old kid. Because book fairs don't matter. In a couple months, your parents are going to get you tickets to see Michael at the Garden, and it's so much better than trading cards. And the reality is you're going to grow up to be a lawyer, and your livelihood's going to depend on your ability to read and write, and I swear to God, those library books are going to literally pay off. And snack time doesn't matter either. It's gone by 6th grade. But cholesterol lasts forever. And your mom's going to be gone by 8th grade. And you're not going to remember the shit she bought or didn't buy. You're going to remember the time you spent with her. Yes, every freaking weekend in the fall at the orchard until she gets cancer at 14. And eventually you're going to have kids, and they're going to come to you every October, and they're going to ask for costumes. And you're going to say yes, because sending your kid to school in something they made themselves is parental malpractice. But you're also going to say yes because you realize that playing dress up one day a year doesn't matter half as much as you think it does. There isn't a costume on earth that can change who you are. And thank God for that, because I'm super proud of who I am and the people and experiences that made me this way.
Will Young.